we'll go over. We've got every single one's gone over so far. But anyways, welcome everyone here today. We had our last all hands meeting 2 months ago today. It was December 19th, right before Christmas, and had a chance to get together. This one was meant to be a little bit earlier this month, but with weather and a few other things, we pushed it back. So to start off, we're going to hear from Rod McDonald, who's actually in Seattle right now, and so he has recorded a little welcome for us. We'll give him 10 points for figuring out how to post his video onto YouTube, which he did successfully. We'll subtract 5 points for doing a vertical video and not turning his camera on the side. But hey, you can only teach a dog so many tricks. Here we go.
Good morning, everybody. Hi. I've got about 5 minutes to go over some things, and we've got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm going to get to it right away. The reason why I'm coming to you through video today, through the miracle of video, is as you're seeing this, I'm actually out in our Seattle market right now, helping the folks out there drive a little bit of business for the Seattle Home Show, and hoping that home show is going to be just as successful as was the Philadelphia Home Show that we just recently completed. Like I said, I got about 5 minutes of your time here, but there's a lot of ground to cover. And as I started thinking about what the theme would be for what I was going to say regarding sales over the time period that's passed since the last time we got together, I started out by thinking, wow, we got so many people to thank for the efforts that took place. I need to thank customer care. I need to thank service. I need to thank the installation department. I need to thank marketing. All these groups, all of who worked really hard and need thanks. But then I said, wait a minute, that's not actually the way that we should be driving this. Because when you get thanked for something, what happens is you're being acknowledged for something that you did for somebody else. But there's a different way out there as well, and that's when you're congratulated for something. When you're congratulated for something, you're getting acknowledged for something good and deserving that you did for yourselves. And that's the direction in which I want to go here today. There's an awful lot of people out there, those same people that I just mentioned, they don't need to be thanked. They need to be congratulated for the terrific things that have happened over the last time since we got together. I want to start with the numbers first. We just finished off the month of January, and as those numbers come in, we noticed that several of our branch exceeded the goals that they had for their recurring monthly revenue for the month of January, and that's just great. The others all came in close, so the net result is we exceeded overall our organic company sales goal for the month of January. That's a terrific testament to all the great work that everybody has done out there. I want to also single out one particular rep from the Philadelphia market, and that's Scott Caputo. Scott, put your hand up if you're out there in the crowd for this particular session, because here's all that Scott did during the month of January. Like I said, we just had the Philadelphia Home Show, a great successful event that put the My Alarm Center message out into the hands of thousands and thousands of people, and we know that that's going to result in opportunity for us down the road. But as far as immediate opportunity, what Scott did single-handedly, and by the way, only so far, is he has brought 6 new customers directly tied to the home show into the My Alarm Center family of customers. And that's a terrific performance, particularly when you consider that the 6 that Scott got all by himself is more than the total we got last year from the same show. So, that's a testament to the fine work that everybody in sales and marketing and support has done for these sorts of things. And so, once again, congratulations to everybody. And as we keep that congratulations theme going, we have a couple of really terrific things that we'd like to talk about as ways that we can acknowledge that congratulations to everybody in a more tangible way than My Alarm Center has ever done it before. So we're making a couple of announcements here, and you got to forgive me as I go to a couple of notes on this, but you're going to be seeing some things that are just absolutely terrific. It's phenomenal, and so get ready for that. One of the things that is going to be rolled out for this year is called the My Alarm Center President's Club. What the My Alarm Center President's Club is that is going to be the acknowledgement to our top performers for each of our branches throughout the country. The top performer in each branch, along with the guest of that top performer, is going to be invited to participate in a 4-night, 5-day cruise to Cozumel, leaving from Fort Lauderdale on the 5th of February of 2015 and coming back on February 9th. All expenses paid. Just a terrific recognition of some of the terrific things that folks out there are doing and are going to continue to do. And we can't think of a better way of congratulating people than by offering something that's going to be exciting and fun and, really just over the top terrific. And I can't say enough good things about that. So obviously everybody in the sales organization is going to be very, very excited about that, but we wanted to take it a little bit further. So let me tell you about that too. We started having our discussions and saying, hey, it's great that we're acknowledging and congratulating the sales force for the things that they do, but what about the other folks out there? What about the folks who work in various departments and do behind the scenes type of things and who make it possible for sales to fulfill the roles that they fulfill? So what we're doing for everybody out there is we are rolling out for 2014 the new My Alarm Center Bird Dog program. Let me tell you a little bit about it because you're going to love it. This replaces the Refer a Friend program for employees that has been going on for, a little while now. And that's worked out pretty well. But this is going to take things to the next level, and absolutely everybody who is listening to this video is going to be able to participate in it. Let me tell you just a little bit about how it works. You're going to be seeing a form soon on Macworld. And on that form, you're going to be able to put down some key information about a friend, a relative, a contact, an associate, anybody who you know who might be able to benefit from the terrific services that My Alarm Center offers. Once you've done that, that referral is going to be given to a member of our sales team. When that sales team makes the appointment with the customer and closes that sale and the job is finished and paid, here's where the good stuff starts. You, as the person who made that referral, are going to receive either $125 per closed referral or 4 times the recurring monthly revenue, whichever is bigger. So if that sale results in a $50 monthly recurring revenue, you're going to receive 4 times that, $200. Not bad, huh? But wait, there's more. It gets even better. Because we want everybody to be involved in the exciting growth that is My Alarm Center. For everybody who does this throughout the country, and this, by the way, applies to absolutely everybody who is in a non-sales role with My Alarm Center, that top person, the person whose efforts and whose referrals have resulted in the most recurring monthly revenue for anybody in the country, that person is coming along on the cruise I just talked about as well, along with his or her guest. That's a really, really exciting thing. And congratulations in advance to whoever comes out on top with that. But, like they say in the infomercials, we're not even done yet, because we want to make sure that everybody who gets excited and really wants to roll with the success of My Alarm Center can participate as well. And so there is another way of participating in the 2015 President's Cruise to Cozumel. Here it comes. That is everybody, and I mean everybody in the company, starting from January 1st, because we're going back to the first of the year, all through 2014, anybody who is able to make referrals to our sales department that results in a sum total of $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue, that person and his or her guest is also coming on the trip. Conceivably, we could take everybody. And if we have to take so many people on this trip because so many people have achieved $1,000 in recurring monthly revenue through the referral program, you know what? That's the kind of problem that we would all love to solve. So there are some truly exciting things happening in the sales department, some truly exciting things that you can be a participant in, and we look forward to congratulating, not thanking, but congratulating more and more people as 2015 goes along. I know there are people who also have some other terrific things to say today, and I want to thank you. A thanks had to come in there somewhere, but thank you for your time, and we look forward to just some terrific things happening as we roll throughout the rest of 2014.
All right, what do you guys think?
Great.
Sound exciting? We'll email out more details about that Bird Dog program, but we're excited. We want this an opportunity for you to reach out outside of the phone calls you're getting. This is to your neighbors, to your friends, the people that you live nearby. Opportunity to get them a security system. All you've got to do is be that bird dog that points for the sales team and says, "Here's their name and number. Contact them." And if it converts, then you get that commission, that finder's fee, plus it starts adding up to see if you can qualify to go to the President's Club. All right. Moving on, so this is a slide we had last time that we met that kind of went through the purposes of this meeting, kind of motivate us, be able to recognize those that are doing a good job, to remember why we work for this company and the purpose of protecting families and a free lunch. We went through 4 imperatives. Hopefully you guys remember this. You'll see this every month. I want to focus first on improved goal setting and reporting. And for the first time, we're starting to get a better grip on being able to provide real-time reports. Rod mentioned that we had a great sales month in January. Our goal was to have almost $26,000 of RMR across all of our branches, and we exceeded that by 25%. You can see how. We had the blue bars here represent the actual sales, the little red circles was the goal. So Texas only had about 2/3 of the month to sell. Their goal was 12,000, so they got just above it. Seattle beat their goal. Philadelphia was just a hair short. LA crushed their goal and are on track to crush their goal again in February. Long Island exceeded their goal. Atlanta came just a little bit short. As we look forward to February, our total goal goes up quite a bit, 36,000, primarily because now Hawk has a full month, and we expect them to do $23,000 of RMR. That's more than all the other branches combined. The blue bars aren't completely up to date yet, so that makes it look like we're kind of far behind for being more than halfway during the month. That's not the case. We just don't have all the numbers in yet. We're still working. In the last meeting, I kind of shared this map and said how we're going to continue to grow and we're going to have a strategic acquisition coming soon. And there was a little question mark right above Dallas that represented Hawk Security that we brought on board in January. By now, I imagine each of you has had an opportunity to talk to either a customer or employee from Hawk. What are your first impressions, good or bad?
Good. Very nice to talk to.
Okay. Employees or customers?
Customers.
Customers, okay.
I had some that weren't happy.
Some that weren't happy. Were you able to make them happy?
Yes, I was.
Exactly. That's what matters. And we really do feel that customer base was underserved by Interface. Interface did a fantastic job of taking care of commercial customers who really, from what we've heard, didn't understand how to take care of residential. And that's what we do. So it's going to be a really good match. And even though you may have frustrated customers from what happened in the past, I would hope that we'll be able to take care of them, make them happy, and keep them around for a long, long time. This is another slide I shared last time. When performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported upon, the rate of improvement accelerates. I want to show some examples of how I think we're going to see more of this in the future. So I'm for the first time, I'm starting to get data where I can look at service levels for the queues across the whole and be able to kind of slice and dice them in a lot of different ways. And as a result of that, I kind of shared some week-to-week numbers with managers a few weeks ago. So service levels, when I say our goal here, this red line representing 80% service level, what does that mean to a queue? 80% what?
So 80% of the calls are answered in time? Or?
80% of the calls are answered within how many seconds?
40.
40 seconds. That is our service level. That's our goal across all our queues right now. 80% answered within 40 seconds. Down along the bottom here, we can see these are weeks of the year. So week 1 of the year, week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last week was week 7. I'm not showing any of this week's data on here. So this is looking particularly at Carol's team. Each of the colors represents a specific queue in the phone system. And you can see where Hawk and kind of bad weather kind of brought us down here. And that's okay. Well, the point that I want to bring to attention here is the difference between week 6 and week 7. Because in week 6 is when I pulled together some reports and sent them out to the managers and said, here's kind of what we're doing so far. Remember, our goal is 80%. With the exception of this light blue line, which says retention, it's not customer care 2. This is a seldom used queue that I think has had like 27 calls for the entire year so far. So ignore that one. Look at all the rest. All of them from week 6 to week 7 went up. We go to Joe's teams here. Same thing. From week 6 to week 7 are going up. Rod's teams, the sales queues that we have from week 6 to week 7 going up. We're moving in the right direction. And I confidently believe, regardless of what really led to that, was it because that people knew that we were measuring it? Is it because we had better weather? Is it because of the point is that we get this data out to each of you, and you each know what the goal is. I hope that you feel the urgency of doing what you can and playing your part to accomplish that goal. If you know that there's a few people waiting in queue, you're done with your call, you're going to do your best to wrap up as quickly as possible. And particularly if you see that clock ticking 38, 39 seconds, it's about to go to 40 seconds, you're trying to grab that customer before we hit that 40 seconds or earlier. Okay, so that was improved goal setting and reporting. The next one I want to talk about is leveraging technology. I'm going to use a little bit of analogy here. My good friend here, the waffle maker. Got to spend some good time with him and his brother today. 2 months ago, when we had this meeting, does anyone remember what we ate that day? Hoagies. Were they good? Yeah.
Not like a waffle.
Not like a waffle. Thank you. This is my plant here today, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the hoagies, although not bad, let me just share. I'm going to use an example here of how we can use technology and also look at ways that we can be more cost-effective in our decisions. The hoagies cost us about $650 to feed everyone. It's a lot of money for one meal. The waffles, we went and bought about $300, $400 worth of supplies. Each of these was $100. We got a couple mixing bowls, things that will last forever. So we've invested in some technology. And then the actual variable cost, what we're buying for each meal, any idea what it costs to feed everyone today, waffles? It's a little bit more than $100, about $150. A lot less than $650. And I've had a lot of comments that kind of echo Harry. Maybe some of you aren't fans of waffles, and that's okay. But as a whole, I've got a lot more positive comments on waffles than we did on the hoagies. And what I would challenge is there ways within your departments to look at what you're doing, and can you create your own waffles to where you're doing something that has a more dramatic impact on your customer, that's more personable, and that makes more sense from a financial point of view. And I'm going to use a few other pictures just to kind of think of some other analogies here. So, I kind of invested in these little batter dispensers, which I really like. It allows me to kind of do things quick, make sure there's always batter inside the makers. And anytime we're doing a new process, you're bound to have some challenges. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve to figure out how do we get this just right. Make sure we've got enough oil on it, think through the process. And then even once you kind of get things going, there's going to be time where you kind of have to calibrate, okay? You're either going to get a little too dark, you're going to go a little bit too light. We're going to be introducing some new processes over the next few months. We're going to change things up, and I guarantee you that they're not always going to come out golden the first time. They're going to come out too dark or come out too light. We're going to do our best to get feedback from you and then calibrate to try to get things tuned in correctly. Oftentimes, even when you get technology, it's going to get a little bit messy. You got to make sure you take time to step back, look at it, clean off everything, say, what can I do better the next time around? I learned the first time I did have a lot of the waffles stick. And I was spraying with the Pam every single time and still had them stick. So this time I bought some vegetable oil and just mixed some vegetable oil with batter. Didn't have a problem this time. But I learned from the last time. Thought about, well, how can I make it go a little bit smoother? Leading up to the end of December, I think we had kind of messaged in November, December that we're looking at making some changes to the incentives that were in place for all the different teams. And we'd hoped to get that done by January 1st, but we kind of postponed that because we were up to here with preparing for Hawk. We knew that was coming in December. We're ready to make some changes, and we're going to see some changes on March 1st. And what I want you to understand is the reason that we're making the changes and why we're doing it. So although they'll be March 1st, I do expect there's going to be a calibration. We may come out where the waffles are a bit too light. They may come out a little bit too dark. We're going to get feedback from you, and we're going to try to get them tuned in. But there are two major goals we're trying to accomplish with these changes. The first is we want incentives consistent across all the groups. That if we have an incentive that's in place, I want it to apply to anyone who's talking to a customer on a phone. So there's not a reason that you're saying, I want to transfer you over to this group because I know that they'll get an incentive for doing it. If the incentive is good enough for a group over here, should be good enough for a group over here, and I'm going to try to make those flat across all groups. Second, we want to ensure that a majority of our incentives are aligned with our company economic goals. Two of those would be getting new RMR. You can generate getting new RMR, great. You can improve service drag by getting more service revenue, or somehow decreasing servicing costs, or collections is one that's not even on here, be able to get customers to pay past them. Those are all economic things. And you'll see the incentives that will come out will be revolving around these areas, and they're not going to have a cap in this area. Now, if it's a non-economic goal, it's going to be finite. There's only going to be so much that you can get and so much that a department can spend on that. But if it's aligned around an economic goal, I'm more than happy that every one of you still gets as much incentive as you got last year. It just may be doing different things than what you got paid for last time. And as long as you do the things that we're saying are most important and aligned with economic goals, we're willing to pay you as much as you want. I had one of the employees that came in here after we announced this bird dog program. Was like, this is exciting. We had incentives in the place before, commissions, and those went away, and I stopped, referring friends here. I'm going to start again, and I'm going to make a lot of money doing it. She said, I'm motivated by money. Great. That's a good thing. Yep, we all are. Okay, so that's focusing on leveraging technology. Now I'd like to talk about training or retain knowledge. Most of you like you have paper and pen. Anyone who doesn't have any paper with you, raise your hand. Okay, and I gave out pens last time, and no one bought them back. So I'm out of pens. You should borrow pens from a neighbor. Anyone else need paper? Okay. I want you to draw 3 boxes on a piece of paper that are about this big. Okay, 3 boxes about that big. Just big enough for you to put your signature in. So on the first one, I want you to go ahead and put your signature in the first box. Now, once you've done that, in the second box, I want you to sign your name with the other hand. So if you're right-handed, you're now doing your signature with the left hand. If you're left-handed, you're now putting your signature in with your right hand. And this one I'm going to give a little more time because we're all probably feeling like we're in kindergarten now. Now in the third box, I want you to sign your name again. Okay, by show of hands, how many of you signed your name in the third box with the same hand that you did the second box? Not a single one of you. Everyone went back to what was most comfortable. Okay. As we make changes as a company, we know that it's human nature and we don't like change. We want to do what we're comfortable with. So as a company, we're going to do our best to keep pushing you through the change. We know there's going to be a bit of a resistance. Again, we're going to get feedback. But as we train on the new ways, we need you to think of this example right here that, yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel awkward for a bit. And in fact, before it's ever going to become comfortable, it's going to take a lot of practice, doing until we get used to it. And we recognize that human nature is we want to go back to what we know. Okay. Last one, making every customer a promoter. I'm going to tell a bit of a story here. Story is not necessarily a happy one. Danny and Ellen Levin live in Benicia, California. They're in their 80s. She had knee surgery a couple months ago and is not very mobile without a walker. They went to bed 10:30 on December 4th. Went to the other side of their home, their ranch-style home, as the front room. This is where the TV was, in their bedroom, and were woken 2 o'clock. They're both kind of deaf, but 2 o'clock, the smoke alarm in their room went off. Danny had a choice. He could get his wife and try to climb over some furniture and get out the window, or they could go through the doorway out the front door. The doorknob in their bedroom was room temperature, although there was lots of smoke in the room. And what Danny didn't know is that out here in the front room, when they went to bed 10:30 p.m., off here on the right, you'll see some springs here. This was one of the couches in the room. There was another couch that sat right here. What is believed to happen is there was an electric blanket that was plugged in here that somehow shorted. And the couch was made out of what likely was very synthetic material. And it didn't actually flame, just like when you light a plastic fork on fire. It doesn't really catch on fire. It just black smoke until the whole thing is just gone. What we believe that happened here, the entire couch just smoldered until all that left was the springs. And what that resulted in was a lot of black, thick smoke and heat that went up. And you'll see just immense heat damage and smoke damage towards the top of the house. Yet towards the bottom of the house, you can see where there's wood that's unaffected. What Danny did not know is that on the other side of that door, when he opened it, from about chest level and up, was thick, dark, hot, to the tune of about 1,200 degrees smoke. That the moment that he opened the door, that heat and smoke and carbon monoxide came in and overcame him and his wife and their dog that was in the bedroom. And they collapsed on the floor in a state of semi-consciousness. Thankfully, there was a newspaper carrier in the area at 2 o'clock in the morning delivering newspapers and smelled smoke in the air and happened to see smoke coming out of the front door of the Levin residence. And they called 911. Fire department, Benicia Fire Department came immediately, got into the home, got into the back room, found the Levins, found their dog, and brought them out. Here's from a video, the news cameras that were there as they're giving oxygen to the dog and resuscitating the dog. They took Danny and his wife to a nearby hospital and then transferred them to the burn unit at St. Francis Hospital in San Francisco. Unfortunately, a few hours later, Danny's wife had a heart attack and passed away as a result of the stress of the fire. This is a picture from kind of everyone on the scene the next morning. Why am I showing you this? Well, I'll walk you through what happened. Danny and Danny's son, named Jerry Levin, lives in Seattle and is a customer of ours. Lynn, who was in the last meeting, happened to send an email to Jerry last month. He had gotten some smoke detectors added to his system in November. He hadn't finished his e-contract yet, and Lynn was emailing and saying, hey, can we get the e-contract completed? And Jerry wrote back and said, I'm sorry, the last 2 months have kind of been a little bit crazy. Here's what happened. And in fact, he responded to an email on the 15th and said, hey, would it be possible for you to get me contact info to someone at the executive level of my alarm center? This is a story that can be used to save someone's life. We hope to move this forward. Perhaps we can work together on this and find some positive in such a tragic situation. JM forwarded that email to Tammy on the 16th. I got it about that same time. I called him immediately, left a message on him, and actually talked to Jerry on the phone on the 20th. Coincidentally enough, I was headed out to Seattle the next week to visit with our team out there and set up a time where I was able to have lunch with Jerry and his wife, Lois. And it happened very, very fast that Tammy and I worked together. What we really wanted to do, we loved the fact that Jerry wanted to share this tragic situation and turn it into something positive. So we sent out a film crew on the 10th, on a Monday, where they set up video cameras in his home, that burnt home that you saw pictures of, and had Jerry on site, and Jerry told stories of what happened with his parents. And we're hoping to take that footage and some footage we did a little bit later with Danny at an assisted care facility, did some audio recording of him telling the story, We got some photos of him and his dog, and photos with him and his son. We think that's going to be able to translate into a very powerful 5 to 6 minute YouTube video that we can share on our YouTube site, and we think we'll be able to condense it down to even a 30-second TV commercial that we might be able to use in some select areas. We see it going two ways. One, a real focus on why we need monitored smoke detectors in our homes. Another focus on not only for your own protection, but for your pet protection. I mean, they were able to save the dog. And Jerry and his wife Lois, that live up in Seattle, that are customers of ours already. They're photographers by trade. They do photography for some very well-connected businesses up there. They do the NBC affiliate in Seattle. They've done photography shoots with Jimmy Fallon, with Katie Couric. Anytime they have guests that come in up there, they come in and do photos. They the designated photographers for Miss Washington, state of Washington, so the beauty pageant. They're the photographers for the Seattle Kennel Club and have done some of the National Kennel Club as well. And we think there's some great relationships there that we expect to be able to take this video and to be able to get a message out that's important to potential customers and upgrading our existing customers to make sure they've got monitored smoke protection. So the question that I have to each of you is, can we be as strong promoters as Jerry is? Jerry sees the vision. He understands in a very tragic way why we each need to have monitored smoke detectors and wants to get that out to the world. And so we've now got an opportunity for you to be able to reach out to your neighbors, friends, family that live around here to get a security system. Them, we hope to have some great material that you'll be able to share on Facebook and in other ways to get this message across. And I look forward to seeing how we can help Jerry and his father Danny in getting this message out and making sure that we're getting more people understand why they need monitored smoke detectors. With that being said, I want to thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. I'm going to turn the time over to Mr. Kochik, and then we'll kind of go around the rest of the departments and kind of share the messages they have. But thank you, guys.